What if the problem isn't what we don't know, but what we are sure of? We live in an age where belief trumps truth and conviction doesn't need evidence, where delusion isn't a glitch, it's a feature. Everyone has a version of reality now, curated, justified, reposted. Our truths come algorithm approved, tailored for maximum validation. But here's the thing, delusion doesn't look like madness anymore. It looks like confidence, it sounds like certainty. It presents itself as empowerment, clarity, self-love. We say we're manifesting, we're not settling, we're holding out for better. But maybe we're just allergic to reality. Let's talk about love. Everyone wants to get married, but no one wants to compromise. Everyone wants a high-value partner, but no one wants to be ordinary. You ask modern men what they want, a feminine, loyal, low body count woman who doesn't argue. You ask modern women, a six-figure earning, emotionally available alpha who can read minds. Delusional or just deeply misled? Because the numbers don't lie, marriage rates are down. Divorce rates, especially female-initiated, are up. In the US, nearly 70% of divorces are initiated by women. And yet the fairy tale persists. The dream of the perfect partner. The rom-com logic, the Disney delusion. We were taught to expect magic. We weren't taught to sustain reality. This isn't just about women. Men are delusional too, expecting submission without leadership, wanting respect without earning it, demanding loyalty in exchange for mediocrity. We've replaced intimacy with entitlement, and we call it standards. We think we're rewriting the rules, but most of us haven't even read them. We want tradition without responsibility, progress without sacrifice, power without discipline. Delusion is an equal opportunity illusion. It flatters the ego, male, female, and everything in between. But delusion isn't just about dating, it's cultural, it's political, it's spiritual. It's embedded in the myth of endless progress, in the worship of self, in the idea that if you just want something enough, it'll happen. Delusion wears many faces. Toxic optimism, victimhood as identity, the belief that healing means never being triggered, the idea that freedom means doing whatever you want without consequence. We've confused validation with truth. We've confused attention with love. We've confused visibility with value. And we wonder why we're anxious, why we're lonely, why we're so exhausted. Because reality requires friction. It asks something of us. It forces us to face limitation, responsibility, complexity. But delusion isn't seductive. It whispers, you're special, you're owed, you deserve more. And maybe you do. But who told you that getting more wouldn't cost you something? Who told you that being special means never being wrong? We're living through a crisis of clarity. The self-help books tell you to believe in your dreams, but they don't tell you when to let them die. Delusion is when the dream becomes a prison. When you cling to the fantasy instead of facing the facts, when your self-image is so fragile, it can't tolerate contradiction. You stagnate in the trivial. Ask yourself, what am I clinging to that no longer serves me? What do I believe because it feels good, not because it's true? What part of my identity would collapse if I stopped being delusional? Delusion isolates because reality is communal. It exists in tension with other people, other truths, other needs. Delusion needs no one. It thrives in echo chambers and algorithmic mirrors and spiritual bypassing. We tell ourselves, I'm not the problem, they are. We think if I were truly seen, truly understood, truly valued, I'd never feel insecure again. But what if insecurity isn't the enemy? What if it's the invitation? To humility, to awareness, to growth. Because clarity isn't clean, it's uncomfortable, it's confronting. It breaks the spell. Delusion is easy. Truth is earned. Look around, we live in a time of peak performance and peak illusion. Online, everyone is rich, everyone is healed, everyone is an expert. But behind the filters is fatigue. Behind the brands are breakdowns. We are walking press releases, crafting a version of ourselves that can win applause, even if it costs us our peace. Even the way we talk has changed. We use therapy speak as armor. We weaponize boundaries. We turn personality quirks into diagnosis and disagreements into abuse. It's not that trauma isn't real, it's that we've made it a trend, and in doing so, we've blurred the line between being seen and being fragile. We don't just protect our feelings anymore, we insulate them in ideology. We build entire worldviews around not being offended, we mistake discomfort for injustice, and we turn any challenge into betrayal. This isn't growth, it's regression with better lighting. So what now? Do we burn the fairy tales? Do we cancel the motivational mantras? Do we reject every dream that isn't backed by data? No, but we have to know the difference between vision and fantasy, between hope and hallucination, between standard and self-sabotage. Not everything that feels empowering is true. Not every discomfort is trauma. Not every critique is hate. To be human is to crave meaning, to seek love, to dream. But to stay human, we have to stay tethered to our limits, to each other, to something more solid than the latest aesthetic of empowerment. So let me ask you this. What lie are you living in because the truth feels too heavy? What fantasy are you married to, and what would it cost to let it go? Drop a thought in the comments, even a single sentence. Your voice adds dimension to the silence we're exploring. If you're curious about the visuals, they're the part of the world I'm building beyond the screen. You can see more of my work at TOMAAS.com. This is part of the TOMAAS prophecies, cinematic essays that don't just reflect the world, but read between its fractures. Through layered visuals and emotional pattern recognition, we practice prophetism, a new way of seeing. Here, art isn't decoration, it's intel. It translates what we haven't yet learned to name. Because by the time everyone understands the shift, it's already happened.